And we are live. Hello everybody and welcome to the night before the 500 presented by Mafia Motorsports and AAMS Brian Ingles Motorsports Racing. We are here at the Lucas Oil Raceway for the night before the 500 where the Dirt Midgets will be taking on this, I don't know how long it is, asphalt oval track. It's going to be a very interesting combination having these dirt cars take on this definitely not a dirt track. I think we're going to see a lot of drivers kind of struggling for grip, struggling to get to grips with the car track combination. Joining me today in the broadcast booth is Luke Breitschoff once again. Luke, how are you doing?
I am just fine. I'm ready to watch this. This is going to be very interesting. As you said, two cars, a car track combination that probably doesn't go together very well. Certainly is going to be extremely interesting to watch.
First of all, we do apologize for the slight delay at the start of the broadcast. We had to get some last-minute things ready, but in the end, we were able to get it going only about 2 minutes behind schedule. You join us now with 6 minutes remaining in practice, taking a look at the driver at the top of the board. It is the 14 of Connor Gross with a best lap time of a 24.724. However, I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate because we have two different timing screens. One of them is showing James Tiernon at the top with a 24.621. So a little bit of a disparity here, but we'll be able to figure it out hopefully in a little bit. So I'm not really sure why that's happening, but I'm sure that ATVO has a good reason for it. Anyways, we have a couple of minutes remaining in practice because we do need to explain the format for tonight. Now, it doesn't look like there's going to be enough drivers here to require anyone to be eliminated through the heat racing. However, there will be a few heats, each 10 laps in length, to determine the starting lineup for this, I want to say, a 50-lap race tonight. Now, I could have that number wrong, but I do believe that it is a 50-lap race with money on the line. There are $50 on the line to the race winner, $30 to the driver who comes in second, and $20 to the driver rounding out the podium in third. Luke, I think there's going to be a lot on the line. What kind of action are you expecting tonight?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not that experienced with this. I haven't seen much of it, but I'm sure that when this thing comes down to the wire, 50 is a lot more than 30, I can tell you that. So the battle for the lead, and especially for the last two spots, while it isn't 50, it is still a lot of money. It's going to get wild near the end of this thing, and I can't wait.
It'll be very interesting to see how the differing levels of prizes kind of play into the drama of this race, because on one hand, drivers might be more content kind of settling for second, bagging the $30 and not really being too aggressive. But on the other hand, the battle for third is going to be a lot more interesting because suddenly there's a lot more spots that offer a prize, that offer a reason to be there. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how the prize money plays in to the action tonight. Another thing that's interesting is just the way that the cars are. You know, the Dirt Midgets, they are open wheel by nature, and that means that you're not going to really be able to make a lot of contact and get away with it. Very much contrary to the Watkins Glen race we saw here last night on TMG, I think the racing is going to be a little bit more spaced out, but also closer together because you don't really have to lift much in these cars. So it's going to be very interesting to see kind of how the racing plays out, what style of racing we get, because I think it's going to be something very unique, but something very entertaining to watch. Taking a look now at the driver who might be at the top of the leaderboard, James Tiernon. Again, he's not displaying on our ticker. I'm not entirely sure why, but there he is in that blue, red, and white number 98 going down the back straightaway right now and going into turn number 3. You're going to see a lot of different drivers taking a lot of different lines. You know, drivers looking down low, up top. It's at night, so there's a lot more grip in the track, a lot more kind of places to move around. It'll be very interesting to see kind of how the bumpy surface and the different lanes of this track kind of plays into the racing. You can see James Tiernon really fighting the wheel through the turns. You see that wall coming up on the right side as well. That's going to play a big factor in the race too, because if these drivers get a little bit too comfortable with running the top, then they might just clip the wall with their wheels and just flip over.
For sure, and I'm going to say that it does look like the ticker on the top left is frozen. It has not moved off of Connor Gross's name, so hopefully that's going to be resolved before the qualifying in the race. Is just as you say that the 86 looks like he clips the wall, but yeah, it does look like it's frozen.
Okay, I found the issue. I ended up closing the app that provides our ticker data by mistake. Let's go ahead and get that back. I don't know if it's going to update. All right, we got to deal with something real quick. We'll be right back. Actually, we won't be right back. We're going to stay here while we fix the issue because it should be a fairly easy fix. Should just be able to copy that, do a new browser source. Hopefully this works. Okay, ignore the strange overlay at the moment. There we go. Now we have James Tiernon at the top of the board. Sorry about the quick delay there. We just had to get that sorted because it was a little bit of a mess. Now I can go, and I can also go ahead and make the name length a little bit longer so we can actually see Christopher Kimray's full name, and not just Christopher Kim Ray, because the Y at the end of his name kind of got cut off there. So it's going to be a very interesting race. I think we've already established this, but I mean, really, I'm not sure what to expect. You know, it's a combination that we've never really seen in real life. You don't see a lot on iRacing, and it'll be very interesting to see how the racing turns out. Just a minute and 50 seconds remaining in practice, and then we'll go ahead and hop on over to the heat races. It's a little bit of a different qualifying procedure here, because I don't believe there is any qualifying session. The race is fixed setup, so that's why the times are relatively close, except for James Tiernon, who's out in front by about a tenth of a second. Actually, no, it's about a tenth and a half. So a pretty good advantage for James Tiernon right now. He's definitely early on looking like the favorite. Shout out to Corey Cleary for putting on this event. You'll find him in that number 7 orange dirt midget right now on pit road. Shout out to him for putting this whole event together. Hopefully we are in for a very exciting night of racing. Pretty big field too, about 16 drivers registered. Not all of them on track at the moment. Take a look at chat, see what you guys are thinking. Okay, not too much going on in the chat. Kind of running out of things to talk about in practice, but luckily we only have 40 seconds left, and then we can bring you some actual racing action from the circuit tonight. 10-lap heat races to determine the starting lineup. Late entry, John Capps. One thing that I'm also curious about, it'll be interesting to see how kind of dirt experience and asphalt experience, kind of what matters more coming into this race, because on one hand you've got the dirt cars, and that's definitely something that you could take advantage of as a driver, but on the other hand, the track is asphalt, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what type of drivers are going to do well. 6 seconds remaining in practice. We're going to cut away for just a moment and be right back for heat racing here on TMG.
Jonathan has to go right quick, so I think I'm going to be covering the first heat.
I'll be back in a moment.
For the first heat. I'm not in the session myself, so I'm actually having to go off Jonathan's stream, so I do apologize for that. As we're waiting for everyone to load in here. Looks to be an 8-car field for the first heat.
That was a mistake.
Still waiting for everyone to load in here. I believe we have all 8 drivers on here now. And yes, everyone has loaded in the session. Someone has already nosed into the wall. I cannot see who that is, but into the infield wall goes the 16 car, looks like.
Okay, I am now back, so I'll be able to cover the heat racing from tonight. Cole Penn in that number 52 is going to line up as the race leader. He'll go to the inside. Double file starts for the heat racing tonight. I believe we only have 1 lap of pacing. You can see the lights on the pace truck are already off. That H on the top left of the ticker indicating that this is indeed a heat race. Go ahead and turn off the fastest lap times. Resize the ticker a little bit. And let's get ready for some racing action. Colin Penn, gonna lead the field off turn number 4. We'll see if the pace car dives into the pits this time by. No, he does not. So we're going to stay out for one more lap of pacing. You can see the field gridded up 2 by 2, 4 rows deep. 8 drivers in this first heat race. All right, Luke, it's only going to be a 10-lap dash to the finish of the heat. What are you expecting out of this race?
I'm not expecting too much. I think this is going to be really the drivers, although they did have I'm not sure how long the practice was. They did have a practice session before this, but this is going to be their first real practice. I don't think anyone has really been that tight around everyone else, so it's going to be a good practice session. And like you said, I don't think that's it's too big of a field where anyone's going to be eliminated. So honestly, it's a good time to take some risks and just see how your car handles in traffic as we are going green.
Down towards turn number 1 now. It'll be Colin Penn leading the field. Sideways goes the 19 of Eli Warren. He's going to get it back together, and they're crashing in the back. Corey Cleary up and over. Another car tumbling in turns 3 and 4. That is the 14 of Connor Gross, I do believe. No cautions in the heat. We stay green. Colin Penn leading away through turns 3 and 4, trying to lead lap 1. Hot on his heels is the number 19 of Eli Warren. Lap 2 now underway. Warren up into second, going for it on the outside of Colin Penn in that number 52. Oh, sorry, that's the number 98 of James Tiernon. My mistake. To the outside, going towards turn number 3. Tiernon going to have the preferred line. Oh, but Colin Penn sliding up just a little bit. Never mind, Tiernon going to get the run off the corner. Maybe not. Penn going to slide down the inside. Side by side coming to the line this time by. They are dead even for that race lead.
Tiernon was the fastest driver in practice, so not a huge surprise to see him. It looks like he is not quite clear, and he is clear of Colin Penn. James Tiernon to the lead.
Yeah, that was very much close between the two on exit. Bit of a battle for third as well, but the number 9 of Tom Abramatis, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, is getting away in that position, so mostly single file throughout the pack. Again, no one is going to be eliminated from this race. Drivers are simply fighting for starting position. So I imagine you don't want to take too many risks. Just about halfway through the heat now. James Tiernon, looking like the favorite in the race, is leading away over second place Colin Penn.
Tiernon so far has certainly been the class of tonight, dominating practice, and now it looks to have a pretty comfortable lead over second, although the battle looks like it is going to be for second, as Tom is going to be catching Colin Penn here pretty shortly, looks like.
Yeah, I'm just going to call him Tom for now, is gaining on the number 52 of Colin Penn, going to the outside, trying to get a nice run off the corner. Let's go ahead and go on board with the number 9 of Tom. On board going to turn number 1 and 2. Colin Penn going to get sideways up the track. Abramitis going to slide it down the inside, take advantage of that slip up from Penn, and take away the second spot. Meanwhile, Tiernon puts the number 702 of John Capps 1 lap down, side by side for second. On the inside is Abramitis. On the outside is Colin Penn. They nearly touch coming off 3 and 4.
Abramitis is definitely faster than Penn. It's just if he can get past him, he's just seeing if he can get past Colin Penn right now, because what I've seen so far, that 9 car is definitely faster.
Yeah, Colin Penn just trying to hold Abramitis at bay. I do believe this is for the inside starting spot, because generally that's how you would do it. They're approaching the lap car of John Capps. Oh, and into the wall goes the leader, James Tiernon. He is on his... Oh, never mind. That was the 702. Oh, well, that was a miscall. John Capps upside down and gets hit by Michael. Okay, there are multiple cars upside down. That is not good.
Unfortunate turn of events there, as Tiernon coming to 2 laps to go. As long as he does not make a mistake, or lap car does not make a mistake, he should have this one pretty much locked up.
Yeah, sorry for the false alarm there. I just saw a car up and over, and for a second I thought it was Tiernon, but it was not. Battle for second has calmed down. It's Colin Penn getting away in that spot. Getting a little bit sideways, though, in 3 and 4. I think that might be one of the factors that we're going to see play into tonight quite a bit. Is just drivers getting sideways as the tire run goes on. You're going to see Abramitis with big gains coming out of turn number 4, getting closer to the bumper of that number 52. Trying to get to his inside through 3 and 4. Or sorry, 1 and 2. He'll slide up behind him. White flag in the heat, and James Tiernon is going to come around through turns 3 and 4 to pick up the heat victory. Tiernon wins heat number 1. He will be on pole for second. Colin Penn gets the spot over Abramitis, then goes sliding down the front straightaway. A little bit of a celebration across the line behind them. It'll be Corey Cleary getting 4th and Connor Gross in 5th. So that concludes stage number 1, and already these drivers will grid up for stage number 2. We'll see who gets on pole for this one. It's looking to be the number 56 of Hayden Lowell. I'm not entirely sure if that is accurate.
Hayden Lowell is obviously the driver who won last night's Watkins Glen race, so he's coming off a good streak for without a doubt. So looks like everyone's girded in already.
I don't think so, because there's definitely a spot missing from the pole. Okay.
Everyone is moving though, so apparently the pole sitter decided not to join. Interesting.
Yeah, so it'll be the number 18 of Julian Valadez. I don't want to mispronounce that, but I think it's Valadez is going to inherit that pole position. Everybody else going to grid up behind him. Once again, it'll be, I think this time it's 3 rows of 2 wide and then an extra row of just a singular car. Remember, 2 laps of pacing here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Christopher Kimry going to line up alongside Julian Valadez. I want to say that he's probably teammates with the other driver who is in the Ascari midget, but I don't
that would be
a
Tom. Tom, I'm not sure his last name. Was
Tom
in the other.
Abramitis, so they might be teammates. Keep on the lookout for that. The returns 1 and 2 for the final lap of pacing. It'll be interesting to see how this heat differs from the first one. We'll see if the action is any more intense or any less intense. I gotta say, the action was pretty good in the first one. Lots of drivers having a couple of issues. I do believe the pace car is now into the pit lane, but I think these drivers have to go on green. So the field in the hands of Valadez. He'll lead them through turns 3 and 4 on the inside lane, ready to take off when that green flag is waved.
Green.
Here we go. Green flag is out. Valadez takes off towards turn number 1. We are green for heat number 2. Oh, car in the wall already.
Oh, someone's in the wall. Was that the Menards car?
I think that might have been the 73 of Tony Corcoran, Tommy Corcoran. Man, there are some hard to pronounce names here. On the outside, that is Christopher Kimry on the outside of the 77 of Levi Klatt. They are side by side for second. Valadez had an issue off 4. Because now it'll be Kimry up into the race lead. Never mind, that's Levi Klatt on the outside of Valadez. Valadez might have tagged the wall because he is getting loose on the front straightaway. Back into second. Klatt inherits the lead. Now here comes the 7 of Kimry trying to go up the inside of Valadez. He'll slide back just a little bit and let Neil Allison come into the fight now. I'm not sure what driver got into the wall, but it was that bright green car. Oh, and another one of the wall. I don't know. That was Christopher Kimry. He got into the outside wall, and he is now stuck in turns 3 and 4. Not good for the driver of the number 7. We stay green, though. This is only a heat race, so no cautions. Levi Klatt leading back towards turn number 1. They're side by side for second. Bruce Jones on the inside of Valadez on the outside. Pretty good battle going on for second.
$18 of
Valadez.
Who is that? I can't read. Valadez got a little loose off of turn 2, and Bruce Jones is going to clear him for third. They head down. Klatt is having some Wi-Fi problems, obviously, but apparently not slowing him down too much, as he's been able to maintain that lead ever since he took it.
Oh, up and over goes the 18. Valadez tumbling down the back straightaway. He's on his roof. This is not good. He's going to have to tow back into the pits. And Valadez is out of this heat. We'll take a look at a replay. And I think I know what happened. Just tagged the wall. That's going to be a big issue for these drivers tonight. Just getting a little bit loose, getting into the outside wall. And the way these wheels are moving so fast on these cars, it just flips them right over. Yeah, you're going to see it here. He's going to get loose coming off turn number 2. Tags the wall, and up and over he goes. And out of the heat race.
just pushed it a little bit too close to the limit, and that's the risk you take when you try to get just that much more speed off the corner. You sometimes get a little loose, you might spin out, and other times you hit the wall, and these things, it's so easy to flip them.
Yeah, and especially on asphalt, they're not really designed for this type of racing, so they're going to get loose quite a bit. Neil Allison has moved up in a second over Bruce Jones. Now he is going to try and run down Levi Klatt for the lead. 3 laps remaining. This is for the second starting spot. In turn number 1, Klatt taking a nice line. It's interesting to see how these drivers are really able to utilize a lot of lines. You saw Neil Allison coming out of 2. They're running that lone line. Klatt moving a little bit higher up the track. Right in that
I was going to mention it. iRacing, for as much crap as we like to give them, round of applause on Lucas Oil. It's certainly a lot of multi-groove racing around here, so give iRacing a hand for this one. They have correctly scanned this track for sure.
You can see Neil Allison really throwing it into the corner, trying to make the most of his entry speed. He makes up quite a bit. We're coming around to the white flag in the stage. That'll mean 1 lap to go. All on the apron goes Neil Allison, losing a little bit of traction. The gap now 3.5 tenths between him and Levi Klatt. Big dive on entry. This could be a last lap run to the line.
He has gained about 5 tenths over the past few laps. He's going to have to send it.
He's going to do it all the way to the inside.
He's going to send it. He's going to get loose, and he's not going to be able to hold on to it. But a great effort by the 15 of Neil Allison. And it's just going to show what's going to come later on in this race when money is on the line. Klatt's going to take heat number 2.
Yeah, so Levi Klatt wins the second heat of the night. He will be lining up in the second position. We're going to cut away for just a moment and be right back with coverage of the main event. And we're back live here on TMG for warm-up for the main event. Luke will be back with us in just a moment, but he is getting up to get water. So a 5-minute warm-up before these drivers take to the track for the main event. As a reminder, this race is sponsored by AAMS Brian Ingles Motorsports Racing and also Mafia Motorsports. You can check out more info about them in the description. And another thank you to Corey Cleary for putting on this, what's sure to be a very exciting event. We saw 8 drivers in both heats, so that'll be a full field of around 16 drivers. I think that's plenty cars to have a pretty fun race. And keep in mind, in the actual race, we will see cautions. So if one driver goes tumbling and spinning down the back straightaway, he will have a caution. So he doesn't have to go a ton of laps down. I don't know how many fast repairs they have, but I imagine they have at least one. They might not have any. I'm not entirely sure. You can see everyone going out for warm-up now. You can take a look at the standings on the left, on the upper left corner of your screen. Fastest lap times now, it's a 25-0 to beat by Tom Abramatis. Luke, are you back yet? Because I've got a question.
I am back.
All right, so after what you've seen in the heat racing, I asked you this at the start of the show. We weren't quite sure then, but I think we might have a better idea now. What kind of racing are you expecting to see out of this event?
Like I said earlier, iRacing's really scanned this. It's got a lot of grooves you can choose from, so I'm expecting some 2- and 3-wide racing throughout the pack, and first time we're going to see all 15 cars on the track at one time, so that's going to be very interesting to see. I'm expecting a lot of multi-groove racing. Some guys ripping the top, getting some momentum. Some guys trying to go to the bottom and maybe pull a slide job. It's going to be interesting for sure. I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be definitely interesting to see. Speaking of these different drivers and their different lines, different paces, after what we saw in the heat racing, who do you think is going to be the favorite to win the race?
Without a doubt, it's James Tiernon, but I would not count out Neil Allison. He was certainly, especially at the end of the run, he was making up a lot of ground on, I believe it was I cannot remember, but he was making up a lot of ground on the winner of that is a very unfortunate correct. Yeah. But good underdog here would be the Neil Allison in the 15 car. He has some speed for sure, especially once these tires where it seems like he's a good driver on the tires. So keep an eye on him. But without a doubt, it's Tiernon for me.
And I also gotta say, keep an eye out for Julian Valadez. I mean, he's made a couple of mistakes in the heat races, but if he's able to get that together, he's got quite a bit of pace. I think he could definitely try and contend for the win. It's looking very, very close at the top of the timetables. At the very, very top, which I can't find because... There we go. Okay, ATVO's timing screen was organized a little bit weirdly. It's just about 2/10 between the top two. However, this is just on one lap pace. And we know that racing in these cars is extremely different than going fast over the course of one lap. You can see a wreck there on the front straightaway. Actually, Corey Cleary has just knocked down the gap at the top by quite a bit, as O'Tear Neil Allison nearly got into Valadez. A little bit of contact there down the back straightaway. Now the gap at the top, just 2/100ths of a second, so those two definitely looking like the favorites. However, Cleary is going to have to start towards the back while Tiernon is going to have an advantage as Valadez goes for a tumble on the front straightaway once again. It's going to be one thing to watch out for. We're going to have quite a bit of dramatic crashes.
For sure, these cars, like I said earlier, we both mentioned that they flip very easily, especially on a surface like asphalt, which they are not used to. So... yeah, expect some big ones here, folks. This is not going to be a caution-free event for sure. That we're going to see multiple wrecks, especially with near the end of this thing when money is on the line.
All right, with 15 seconds remaining in the warm-up, who are you going to take the win?
Tiernon, without a doubt. James Tiernon has the fastest car. He's had it all day. He has the best drive. I would not be surprised to see James Tiernon in victory lane at the end of this thing.
Well, if you're going to take Tiernon, then I'm going to go ahead and go with Corey Cleary. Not only has he been very, very nice in helping get this race broadcasted, he's been amazing to work with, so once again, a shout out to him. He's definitely looking very fast. He's only 2/100ths off the top time in the warm-up. I think he's got a good shot at this. All right, once more, before we get started, we have to remind you that this race is sponsored by AAMS, Brian Ingles Motorsport Racing, and Mass Mafia Motorsports. You can check out more about them in the description. Here we go for the main event live on TMG. It'll be James Tiernon lining up from pole. Alongside him will be the 77 of Levi Klatt. We will go ahead and run you down through your starting lineup right about now, pulling up on the left-hand side of your screen. On pole is going to be the 98 of James Tiernon, followed by Levi Klatt in second. Row 2, Colin Penn will start to the inside of Neil Allison, and behind him, Tom Abramatis will start to the inside of Bruce Jones. Corey Cleary, my pick, lines up in 7th alongside John Petrie. Behind them, Connor Gross will line up to the inside of Christopher Kimry, and behind them, Michael Adkins lines up to the inside of Julian Valadez, and that is going to be your 12-car lineup for the race, because I don't believe anybody else has gridded up. But don't be too concerned about the car count, because we've seen in previous races on TMG that the car count doesn't really matter, because we can put on a good race regardless.
Discluding the short track shootout, car count does not matter.
Yes, we don't talk about the short track shootout. It doesn't exist. It never did exist. I think the pace car might... the pace car isn't on pit road. It's just not showing up for some reason. Pace car didn't pull off already. Yeah, there it is.
Pace car is pulling away with this one. Look at that gap to second place of James Tiernon.
I think the pace car's got it made. All right.
Oh, the 77 of Klatt is already on the fence. Might be his Wi-Fi, but sure looked like he went sideways to me.
Yeah, so note to self, don't focus on Levi Klatt too much because then the camera's going to go all weird. I've done my best to crop the ticker so you can only see the drivers in the race. It's not perfect, but it's the best that we can do with what we have to work with.
It's close enough.
Yes, it is. Here we go. For the main event on TMG, it'll be James Tiernon leading the field to green. How long until the first caution? Only time will tell. Tiernon is going to take off from the top spot when the green flag waves. Coming off turn number 4, green flag is out, and we are racing from Lucas Oil Raceway. They're already fanning out behind. I saw 3, maybe 4 wide going into turn 1, but they've got that sorted. Take a look at this huge pack of cars going through turn number 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, it'll be James Tiernon trying to run away with this lead on lap 1. Levi Klatt in second, followed by Colin Penn. Behind them, it'll be the 9 of Todd Abramatis behind Neil Allison. James Tiernon is going to lead lap 1.
Tiernon already pulling away from the lead pack as battle going on there between looks like Bruce Jones.
Yeah, that'll be
and,
Michael Adkins and Bruce Jones going at it for the 8th position. Side by side, now the 7 of Christopher Kimry trying to get into the mix, sliding up the inside. They'll be side by side for 9th. Kimry going to take that spot away, but the caution, oh, never mind, I thought I heard the caution coming out, but I did not hear the caution coming out. Big battle going on now. This is for 2nd. Levi Klatt leading away over Colin Penn. Penn going to send it up the inside, trying to take that spot away, but the caution is out. A couple of cars around in the back. That'll be the 16 of Michael Adkins. First caution of the day on lap 3.
I saw Adkins get in the wall a little bit earlier. Might have had some damage there and hit the fence. Any clue on how many resets these guys get?
I do not. Let's go ahead and take a look at a replay of what happened to Michael Adkins. So this is down the front straight away. It's going to happen next time by. Oh, he just climbed the fence there. That might have messed up his steering. Wouldn't surprise me too much. Then you're probably just going to see it coming here off turn number 2. Yeah, Adkins just clips the fence again and goes up and over and collects the number 11 of John Petrie, bringing out the first caution of the day.
Adkins just could not stay out of that fence to save his life. Kept clipping it, and unfortunately he's going to take himself out. Well, not take himself out, but he's going to cause a wreck in the process of it. Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely not all that hard to do. You know, these drivers, they just go a little bit too wide. You clip the wall barely, and up and over you go. There really isn't a lot of forgiveness in these cars.
For sure. We've said it multiple times. These are not ideal racing conditions. This car and track is not... It's not a good idea. I would not try this unless you just want to hurt yourself. I would not recommend doing this at home, taking dirt cars and putting them on asphalt racetracks, because this is what happens when you do. But Tiernon has led all 4 laps of this race, I believe.
Yeah, he has led. Actually, so caution laps are not counting on the night. So
they are not.
He's currently only led 3 laps.
Interesting.
And I hear some wrecking in the back. I feel like these drivers are getting into the fence under caution. And just for clarification, when we say don't do this combination, what we mean is, if you're not skilled, then don't do it, because you're going to get into the wall and flip, you're going to get loose. It takes a very skilled set of drivers to be able to make this combination work, and I think that's what we have on display for the night.
I know for sure I would not try this out. I wouldn't try out trucks at Watkins Glen, so of course I'm not going to do this.
I mean, the thing about driving these cars on asphalt is that they're not designed to have this much grip. They're designed to be on really slick and loose conditions, but when you take these tires, you take this car and you put it on asphalt, it just kind of over grips. You know, you slide a little bit sideways and the asphalt's just going to grip you, up and over you go. So it's looking like single file restarts for the race, but everyone's kind of trying to get as much of an advantage as they can. Never mind, it is double file. So everyone was just a little bit spread out, but we will be double filing up for the restart. First restart of the night coming on lap 3 of 35. As a reminder, caution laps are not counting, so we might be here for a while. Pace truck is going to make the dive into the pit lane and leave the field in the hands of James Tiernon to lead us back to green. Tiernon on the inside. Coming off turn number 4, here he goes. Green flag is back out, down towards turn number 1, they go again.
Colin Penn, oh, never mind, he's not in second. I thought he was in second, but Cloud is blinking again. Oh, is there a wreck back there?
Yeah, sliding up the track was Levi Klatt. That's going to leave him 3 wide, nearly down the back straightaway. Klatt losing a lot of positions on this restart. Now he's side by side with the 9 of Abramatis. Making up a lot of spots on the outside is Corey Cleary. Take a look at that huge run he's going to have off 4. Up into 6th goes the driver of the number 4. Leading away is James Tiernon, about 0.5 of a second, separating him and the second place driver. A huge pack of cars leading away, driving around this track, and car in the wall. That might have been Connor Gross. Yes, it was. He is going to fall all the way back to 10th, and around goes the number 11. Bruce Jones around as well. Caution is out again. And damage to the left rear wheel of Bruce Jones. That is going to make it difficult for him to limp it around back to the pit lane. Caution is out once again.
Hard hit there for the 17 of Bruce Jones. We'll have to see how much damage he has, but certainly was a hard hit.
So looking at a replay now, I think Jones just got a little bit of contact from the 18. Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Oh, man, turns him straight head onto the wall. And iRacing crash physics, I'm not entirely sure what happened. You'd think he would go on his side, but he just kind of got launched into the air there. So, interesting wreck. Few drivers pitting to repair some damage.
All right, we'll be able to see right now if they have a fast repair to use. Mind the informality. I'm just going to switch to the chase cam. Okay, that one didn't work. I'm going to switch to the far chase cam. And you'll see right here, if that left rear wheel just pops back into place, then you'll know these drivers do have a fast repair to utilize.
Yes, they did. I saw something blink. So, yeah, they do have fast repairs.
All right, so it looks like these drivers do have a couple of fast repairs to utilize. We'll take another look at the incident. Just got to go back far enough. It's very difficult to go back more than just it's very difficult to go back a certain amount of laps just because of the way ATVO works. So we'll go ahead and go on board with the number 17, and you'll see it happen down the back straightaway. In front of him, Connor Gross gets into the wall. He has to go down to the inside, and Valadez just can't slow up in time going into the corner. He might have a lot more entry speed and turns him into the outside wall. I'm going to go ahead and put that one on a racing incident.
For sure. Not really anyone to blame. Gross just stepped out of line a little bit, and some drivers checked up, some drivers didn't. And on lap 5, you'd think more drivers would check up. But, you know, it's a racing incident, like you said.
Number 11 had a separate incident.
Not really anyone to blame there. That is unfortunate.
Mind the network issues. Luke is having some Wi-Fi problems, so he's cutting out quite.
Caution's out on lap number 6, I believe.
Lap
30
5.
laps to go, if that is true. I apologize for that.
Well, we will
lap
have
5, okay.
We will have 30 to go on the restart. As a reminder, caution laps are not counting. Lights are out on the pace car, so we'll be able to go back green this time by. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this broadcast tonight. We hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. I know I have. And with caution laps not counting, we are going to get plenty of this action. James Tiernon going to lead the field through turns 3 and 4, coming to the restart. He'll be on the inside. He has the control car. He can go when he wants. We'll see when he decides to take off. Looking back from the number 98. Here he goes. Green flag is back out.
Tiernon, as he has all night, gets a great jump on the inside. Colin Penn's going to hold on to second as Neil Allison is into third. On the outside of him is the number 9 of Tom Abram. I don't even know. Abramitis.
Oh, big send by Neil there on the inside. Or sorry, Levi Klatt on the inside. Neil Allison going to get sideways off turns 3 and 4. He's going to slide it through turns 3 and 4 back onto the front straightaway, but he is going to lose a spot to the number 77. He's going to slide up right into him, and we got trouble. Around he goes. Caution is back out. Levi Klatt tumbling in turns 1 and 2.
I'm one of Neil Allison for sure. You know, you can't really put the blame there on Neil because you can, but it's hard when drivers are blinking. You can't tell if they're there or not. I'm sure he heard clear and he thought he had cleared he thought he cleared the 77.
At the time of contact, Levi wasn't even in the race because he's constantly just blinking in and out. It's probably a good thing that he's. It's probably a good thing.
Hard to put the blame there on Neil Allison for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he heard clear. He assumed that maybe just Levi wasn't there on his outside, and he came right back into existence in front of him. You really can't put the blame there on Allison. He was just doing what he had to do to maximize track position, and unfortunately, it was right into the 77. So, the third caution of the night is out. Levi continuing to have network issues. He will go a lap down. Actually, no, he won't go a lap down because caution laps aren't counting.
I've been in both positions. I've been the guy who's blinking in and out, and I've been the guy who's wrecked the guy blinking in and out, and it's frustrating and difficult both ways, for sure. whether you're the one who gets wrecked or gets wrecked out, or that is the one who wrecks the other guy. So it's frustrating either way because it's not really anyone's fault. If you're having Wi-Fi problems, I know this from experience. So unfortunate circumstances there for those two, and the caution will come back out.
Well, since we're under caution and we don't have much to talk about, I think now would be a great time to promote the sponsors of this race, AAMS Racing, Brian Ingles Motorsports, and of course, Mafia Motorsports. They are funding the prize money for this race. You can find out more info about them in the description, or you can just look them up online, see what they do. Alright, I do believe the lights are out on the pace car, so we'll be able to go back green. Never mind, they are still on. So Luke, we're 7 laps into this race. It's not really going anywhere soon. What do you think about the action we've seen so far?
It's about what I expected. I expected multiple wrecks. I expected Tiernon to pull away, which Colin Penn has kept him true so far. So, I'll give Colin credit there. But it's what I expected, which I'll admit is a lot of things. I expected a lot of things from this. I expected some multi-groove racing and a lot of wrecks, and so far both those have happened. So yeah, because we're gonna go green this time.
I will say it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world if Corey maybe decided to switch to single file restarts. Might clean things up a little bit, but at the same time, I think the action we've seen has been pretty good. So why change anything? Pace car going to lead the field down the back straightaway. Coming to the restart once again, it'll be Tiernon on the pole, or not the pole position. He will restart as your race leader. So it's honestly probably a good thing that he's kind of been jumping the restart. Well, you can't jump the restart on iRacing, but he's been going early. It's probably a good thing, just considering that it's kind of spreading people out more going into turn number 1. So off turn 4, coming to the restart. Around, there goes Tiernon out from the lead, leading the field downwards, turn number 1.
You can see, into the wall goes Neil Allison.
And we are back under caution. Neil Allison clipped the wall on the restart, and it sent him around. They're nearly wrecking under yellow, waiting up for the pace car. They are wrecking under yellow. This is messy. So Allison gets it back going. He got it in the outside wall. That is what brought out the yellow flag. We will go ahead and take a look at a replay. We'll go on board. Oh, he just clipped the wall down the straightaway. Yeah, there was nothing he can do. Maybe just got squeezed up there and around he went.
I will say Colin Penn is probably liking all these cautions because each time he's getting closer and closer to correctly predicting when he can go and not get a black flag for jumping the restart. Every time he's been closer and closer to the back of
James Tiernon.
James Tiernon. I apologize. Once again, I'm not in the race session, so I'm having to go off Jonathan's screen. What you guys see is what I see.
So, I mean, you're definitely right about that. I think that Colin Penn, on one hand, I think that he's definitely glad that these cautions keep coming out because he's kind of able to get closer and closer, like you said, to judging when Tiernon is going to go. On the other hand, you got to wonder if maybe Colin Penn has more pace than Tiernon, but he just doesn't really have many laps to show it because every time he gets a run, they're just back under caution. He doesn't have the opportunity to pass. Definitely an interesting scenario to be Colin Penn.
For sure. I think the longest run we've had tonight has been 3 laps, so not a lot of time to unleash what you have. Normally in this, I would like to be the leader of this because without caution laps on, I would predict these guys would be around probably close to lap 20, maybe 25. Instead, they're only at lap 7. So.
I mean, I gotta say, on one hand, that's probably a good thing because I would hate to see this whole race go under caution. I think that if we do get a green flag run, it's going to be a very interesting race. Message from Andrew Cootie in the chat. Hello, American Thomas Fisher. So, congratulations. You are American Thomas Fisher. I hope you like your new nickname because I am going to use it forever. Now the field really lagging back from the pace car. Either that or it's just not showing up on my screen for some reason. I don't think it is. I think the ticker under caution. No, it's fine. For a while, the ticker under caution, or at least on ATVO, our scoring is kind of messed up because of caution laps not counting. But we can just turn the ticker off and it's all fine.
Seven laps complete. I'm gonna guess these drivers are gonna go green flag this time by. And are they?
I think we're coming through 3 and 4? Or did we just pass the start-finish line?
I believe we did
Check
pass
the
the start.
flyover. Okay, so
Nope,
we'll
we
be going
did.
back to green next time by.
Next time by, all right. It's a lot ahead of myself.
Yeah, I got it. Definitely getting a good night of racing in. I hope you didn't have any plans for the next few hours, because we're going to be here for a while.
I did not. But I'm enjoying the seat I'm at right now. It's going to be good down to the wire. I'm excited.
Gotta say, it's very interesting how far the field is lagging back from the pace truck. Not really sure why that is, although then again, it's kind of hard to see them. They're pretty small cars. Pretty packed crowd on display for tonight's race. Then again, this is an iRacing event, so there is no pandemic to worry about. Still,
Let's say you're probably not going to see that. You're not going to see that in real life for quite some time for some unfortunate circumstances.
Which we can't.
And I believe we're going to this time by.
We miss you, pack stands, but you will be back one day.
I guess we're not going green this time by.
I think we are. Oh,
are we?
no, we are. So restarts have been changed to single file. Probably a good call by the admins there. Race leader James Tiernon.
One of those things where if it's a consecutive cautions, it's a
might be it.
double.
All right, here we go. James Tiernon down and away. Colin Penn missed the mark on the restart. He is going to have Tom Abramatis to worry about now. Going into turn number 1, everyone's staying single file. Good call by everybody in the field just to kind of lay back, wait for the action to kick off, and then start making up spots.
Terrible restart there by Colin Penn. As you got.
Commentator's curse is real. Okay, that was close. Connor Gross nearly just took out Abramatis, but they were able to keep it off each other. Very close call there. Oh, car around, front straightaway, up and over goes Michael Adkins, tumbling in turn number 1, bringing out the caution once again.
Has that been a term of the night? Up and over. I believe we've said that 4 times now. And a bad night gone worse for the 16 of Michael.
That was violent, man. It just went flying on the front straightaway. You'll see it here. Little bit of contact with the 77. Pushes him. Oh. Well, no, they definitely made contact. It pushed him up into the wall, and at that point, there isn't much you can do. Oh, he got hit again. I think he got hit by the 18 and just went flipping in 1 and 2. That is not a good sight to see. We'll go ahead and use the Gyrocam for Michael Adkins. This is on the back straightaway, and you're going to see it on the front straightaway. This car just gets flipped up and over. So just about a third of the way through this race, it's been pretty messy so far. But I think after a while, these drivers will start to figure it out. There's the contact, and you're going to see that car just gets flipped up and over. Starts tumbling down the front straightaway, sparks flying everywhere, and that gets nailed by the 18. And at that point, we lose our feed and barely see him anymore because the camera's just digged into the ground. So not good for the driver of the number 16. So under caution here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. I feel like we've said that quite a bit tonight. Kind of running out of talking points. Let's see if the chat has any for us. No, they do not.
Class, American Thomas Fisher, so I don't believe so.
Doesn't look like any of the field came into the pits. Tiernon stays out on the track. We are still under caution, so we'll be pacing for, I think, just this lap, and then we'll be able to get back. We'll be able to have another restart, and the field will have another shot at stopping James Tiernon. Remember, there are $50 on the line for first, 30 for second, 20 for third. So the podium finisher is getting a pretty good payout out of tonight's race. So, talking points. Can you think of it?
Not really. It's certainly been a wild one so far, and it actually. Are we going green this time by? I hope we are.
Let's take a look. Switching over to the headrest cam. Lights are still blinking, so I think we've got a few more laps of pacing to deal with.
Yeah, Tiernon has certainly dominated tonight.
Yeah, very dominant performance, but then again, no one's really had the laps to catch him. Hopefully we go 1 to green this time by. I also gotta remember the session timer is in effect, so I don't know how long is allotted for this race. I actually can't tell on ATVO. If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and check that out really quick, and then I will be right back for the restart. Back live on TMG, you see the pacing field down the back straightaway for the final time. We will be going back green this time by. James Tiernon going to lead the field to green once again. Hopefully these drivers can clean it up a little bit. We can get some green flag racing in. Tiernon at the top spot for the first time today. It's Bruce Jones in a second. So another driver will have his chance at defeating Tiernon. Green flag is back out, and Tiernon is down and away.
Green flag, green flag.
Once again, a great start from Tiernon. Not much happening behind him. A lot of single file.
Yeah, about 7/10 now is the lead for Tiernon going up the inside. That's the 52 of Colin Penn on the 18. Now, big run by Abramatis to go down the inside on Connor Gross. Gross covered it off, and up the track goes, I believe that might be Colin Penn trying to get the spot over the 18. Back down the front straightaway, Bruce Jones has fallen back to third and car on the wall. That is I don't know who that is. That's the 18.
I believe that's the 18 car.
Julian Valadez. Caution's back out.
10 laps through this one? Is that how long we are?
Well, we've made it 12 now, so we're making
12
progress.
laps, all right. Making progress.
I'm realizing now I might still have the voice chat enabled on iRacing. Really quick, I just gotta go make sure that that is turned off. Okay, I can confirm that the voice chat was turned off, so we're all good. Let's go ahead and take a look at a replay of what brought out this caution again. That was the 52 of Colin Penn on the inside. Sorry if we stammered a little bit on that restart. I'm not really sure who's in these cars just yet. And we see Valadez getting into the outside wall and tumbling in turns 1 and 2. We've said that quite a bit. Oh dear, that was not, that didn't look good. Yeah, not good for the number 18. Pretty eventful night so far, but not really in the way that we like. I guess any action is good action. We'll go Gyrocam for the driver of the 18, and you're going to see just how violent this flip was. You know, who really likes all these cautions is James Tiernon. Because at the moment, no one's really able to catch up to him. So yeah, right here, he gets into the wall, flips it up and over, and at that point we lose signal. He's going to flip up into the air again, tumbling in 1 and 2. But he gets it back on his wheels. So luckily he will not have to tow, but he does have some wheel damage.
I would say if I was
and Tiernon's into the pits.
Oh, Tiernon enters pit road.
Yeah, into the pits goes the 98, but everybody else stays out. Big blow to the driver of the 98. That is not a good call. I can tell you right now, that is not a good call.
What might have, everyone might have actually pit last caution. He might have been behind the 8 ball for that one.
Well, the thing about that is just that because of how many cautions have been coming out, I mean, tire wear isn't going to be that much of a factor. These drivers aren't using up their tires that much. And now Tiernon is going to have to make up all that track position, and he puts himself in kind of that midfield where we know wrecks are insanely prone to happen. So it'll put Bruce Jones in the 17 in the race lead. So a switch for the lead. It'll be Bruce Jones in command now.
If you're Tiernon right now, you're going to want to gain a lot of spots on this restart and then have another caution that you're not involved in, so you can stack them up and try them again.
Yeah, what you're going to want is a long green flag run, so you have enough time to utilize those fresh tires and actually get back up to the front. Hopefully we can go green for at least a couple of laps now, have a good fight for the lead before we get another caution. You know, it's been at least 2 laps since I promoted the race's sponsors. Why don't we do that again? As a reminder, this race is sponsored by AAMS, Brian Ingles Motorsports, and Mafia Motorsports. I mean, I'm running out of things to say. We've had a lot of cautions, not a lot of action, But I think soon we're going to get back to the racing. Hopefully. Maybe.
They're certainly getting their money's worth tonight. That is for sure.
There we go.
We are going during this time.
Finally, we can have another restart. Give these guys another
Only
shot.
for them to wreck again.
Have some racing, maybe? I don't know.
Not a chance.
I think they can do it. Come on, guys, I believe in you. I think they just got to spread out a little bit on this restart and kind of take it calm for a little bit. They've been really aggressive. You don't really need to do that. So a new driver in command at the front of the field. Bruce Jones leading away over Neil Allison. He will have the lead, or he will have the lead on the restart. We'll see if Allison can react fast enough. Here we go off 4. Bruce Jones is down and away. Green flag is back out.
He was certainly way more
And they're
lenient.
wrecking already, but he saves it. One driver was nearly around in the back, but he got it back going. Meanwhile, the battle is for second. Colin Penn trying to make up spots on the restart. At the front, Neil Allison is on the bumper of Bruce Jones, down to the inside. Big dive by the 15, but he'll slide back in line. Oh, never mind. He actually was able to keep an overlap back to the inside for 1 and 2. Big slide out of Neil Allison going for it through turns 1 and 2. They're side by side for the lead for the first time tonight with Colin Penn trying to make it interesting. Now we've got a battle. Cleared for the race lead is Neil Allison. Crossing him over is Bruce Jones back on the inside.
And as Dale Earnhardt Jr. would say, slide job puts Neil Allison to the top of the board.
Oh, they're wrecking again.
Oh, contact. The 14 of Corey Gross, I believe, is in the wall. Is that going to bring out the caution? It will.
Yeah, caution is back out. We saw a pretty good race for the lead there, but unfortunately, we had to have another caution. But I think what that did show is that when this race does go green, we can have some pretty exciting racing. Neil Allison has taken over the top spot right before that yellow flag came out with a literal slide job. He was sliding all over the track, so great job by Neil to take away the race lead. We'll go ahead and take a look at a replay. It was Connor Gross that went sliding in 1 and 2, and I'm pretty sure we all know what happened. He caught the wall with his right rear tire, and it did not end well for anybody. On board with the 14. You're going to see a little bit of contact from Penn in just a moment. Sent him sliding up the track into the wall and bouncing up into the air and sliding down the track to bring out the caution.
From that angle, it looked like Connor went down, but I'm not sure. I could be mistaken there.
Colin, but close.
Also, I'd like to apologize. It was
Connor, not
Corey.
What am I saying? Okay, so Connor Gross gets a big run off the final turn, goes to the outside on who even was that?
52.
That 52, yes. Came down a little bit too far, got into him and spun around. I don't really know who to put the blame on that one for, because on one hand, you could definitely say that Colin Penn moved up the track a little bit, or you could definitely say that Connor Gross came down a little bit, but on the other hand, the 52 didn't give him a lot of space.
He's definitely running higher than he should be, for sure.
Yeah, for that inside line, you want to be running a little bit lower down the track, then bounce into the wall, up and over he goes. Said it again, up and over. Seems like turn 1 and 2 was the trouble spot. I don't know what's different about that turn than 3 and 4, but it's certainly making a big difference.
Were you 14 laps through this one? 15? How many?
We made it 15.
15 laps.
So I'm going to say it again. We are under caution from the Lucas Oil Raceway. Once again, we're going to have 20 laps to go on the restart. I really hope these drivers can clean it up a little bit so we can get this race underway, because when it does go green, we have seen some very exciting racing. And plus, I have something to put in the highlights reel.
I'd love to see it, but I don't see it happening. These guys, they've just... I'll give them credit. It's very entertaining to watch, but they've been sloppy all night, and honestly, that's what's made it so much fun to watch.
At this point, I'm sure the message has been ingrained into your brain. However, here are our sponsors for the race tonight. AAMS, Brian Ingles Motorsports Racing, and Mass Mafia Motorsports. I gotta find something to kill the dead air with, so there we go. If we didn't have sponsors, it'd be a lot more difficult. Oh, and I guess I should clarify this for legal reasons. They are a sponsor of the event, not of the TMG Broadcasting Network. I don't know if I need to clarify that, but I'm going to pretend like I do, so I sound all official. So right now the field...
I love it. I love it when young children get in conversation about legal terms. Me too.
Welcome to Legal Talk.
Legal Talk during iRacing broadcast with Luke Brightshoff and Jonathan Oat.
Yes.
Anyways, hopefully we're going green this time.
Actually, you're kind of right about that. Like, okay, 5-year-olds like talking about stuff like copyright law is like oddly hilarious because they have no idea what they're saying. Like, you can use a song in your YouTube Minecraft Let's Plays as long as you credit the artist. Like, okay, Timmy. All right, lights are out of the pace car. Luke, I'm tired of calling the restarts. It's your turn. Call this one.
Oh, okay. Oh, I feel that's cool. I get to call one.
Yes.
You know, Allison, top of the board, and he's gonna go dive down. Green flag is back out. He's gonna get a great jump, and Colin Penn might get a run here on Bruce Jones. Oh, they're gonna make contact. And the 9 of Tom Abramatis is gonna look beneath Colin Penn here. Third.
Try it. To the outside now goes Abramitis trying to make a run up high. He's going to make it to the outside of Penn. This is going to be close for second. Penn gets the run off the corner. Down the front straightaway. Lap 17 of 35 underway. They are side by side for second. That's the 17 Bruce Jones on the outside of Colin Penn trying to make a run work. Penn going to squeeze him up the track. That's going to let Abramitis take advantage. Go down the inside. Back towards turn number 3. Tom Abramitis making a move on the inside. Big dive behind on Corey Cleary.
Big sin from the 4 of Corey Cleary. He's going to try to get, and look who it is. It is the 98 of James Tiernon. He's up in fifth place.
Yeah, I mean,
he's looking up that Bruce Jones.
He's definitely made a lot of progress since the restart. Is to the outside of Jones, now up into 4th. He's going to get a great run in a 1 and 2. That's going to let Cleary look at the outside, but he's going to fall back just a little bit. He'll get a nice run on exit, though. Getting up to the bumper of the 17. Not going to make the dive yet. Oh, and trying to go up the inside of Tom Abramitis is the 98 of James Tiernon. Abramitis holds him at bay, but here comes Tiernon down the back in the slipstream. Hops over to the inside. He's going to make the dive. Up into 3rd.
Tiernon is flying right now. He's come from the back of the pack up into 3rd place, and he's hunting down the 52 of Colin Penn for 2nd.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, if there's one thing that has not been difficult at this track tonight, it's been passing. These drivers have been able to utilize really all the lanes around here, get a lot of grip out of it, and they've been able to make it work. We're going to see Tiernon here sending it in at the bottom. This is going to be close between him and Colin Penn. Colin Penn is going for a move for the lead on Neil Allison, side by side, coming off turn number 4 to the line. Lap 21 of 35 now underway. Here comes Tiernon. Trying to make it through the middle. Tiernon up the inside of Allison. Allison comes down on exit. The battle for the lead continues. Tiernon thought about making it 3 wide, and that has put Abramitis back up in the fight for the lead. And Tiernon into the wall. Up and over into the catch fence. Caution is out.
Tiernon tried to pull a Brad Keselowski, I don't remember what year, at Chicagoland, where he pulled I believe it was 2014.
Yeah, you're right about
that. Through the middle. He did not make it work, and he's going to get the worst end of the deal.
Yeah,
but certainly,
it was the wrong call.
Once again, we're going to get to see James Tiernon drive up from the back to the front, so that is going to be interesting to see.
Well, and, I mean, that depends, because on one, you know, sometimes if these drivers only have one fast repair, there's always a chance that he left it checked for his first pit stop. You know, we've seen that happen before. Even on the channel, we've seen it happen. I think we saw it with a couple of drivers at Watkins Glen. So we'll take a look at the incident. Going into turns 3 and 4, Tiernon sent it in, trying to go through the middle. Yeah, he just didn't. I don't think he left the 52 on the inside enough room, and I think he did that to himself.
Yeah, no one really to blame there, but Tiernon. You cannot blame the other two for, you know, racing for the lead. They're trying to utilize the lanes that they have, and Tiernon just came down a little bit on the 52, and Tier staying you hope he didn't leave that box check, but I don't believe he had any damage in the first place. So
He
I'm
had a
going to
little
guess
bit of wheel damage. I mean, when you hit into the wall like that, it's going to mess up your suspension. So we'll
Right,
take a
I was
look at
talking
the
about
replay.
like when he came down pit road for the first time. I don't believe he had any damage to repair the first time. So
But it does still
even
use
if
your
he did
fast.
leave the box check, I don't think he used a fast repair the first time.
I think iRacing still uses it though. All right, so we'll take a look at it here. They were side by side for the lead. Tiernon, obviously much faster than these two, trying to find a way through the middle. Thought about making it 3 wide, decided to back out of it. And you'll see it right here. Tiernon sends it in. The 52 slides up. He doesn't leave him enough space. Sideways, and into the catch fence he goes. A violent crash in turns 3 and 4. You definitely hate to... I mean, if this were in real life, you would not want to see that. But it's iRacing, it's a simulation, so it makes the race a little bit more interesting. Still not very ugly if that were to happen in real life. Or if iRacing had a good damage model for the Dirt Midget.
I really thought Tiernan was going to kind of, hold on. He was definitely faster than the two in front of him. I really thought he was going to wait, let one clear the other and then try to make a move on one and then pass the other. But he did not wait, and he went for it and, fortunately, made himself end up on his lid. So
yeah. I mean, you can see the contact there. He's already flipping over by the time he gets to that outside wall. Oh my goodness. You can see the Gyrocam it's struggling to figure out what's even happening because he just gets hopped into the air again. Oh, okay, that is not good. that is really not good. Hard crash for Tiernan.
For sure. Lap 22 am I correct there? Lap 22?
Yeah, right about that. So if you take a look at the nose cam for Tom Abramitis behind, you're gonna see in just a minute here the 98 just get launched into the air. You can see he could have gone for a move there actually. I'm kind of surprised he didn't. We've seen how aggressive he can be, and you'll see it here in 3 and 4. There's the contact, smoke out of the 98. We'll call that a puncture. He gets into the wall, and you're gonna see from Corey's bumper cam, he's just gonna get launched into the air. Oh dear. Not a pretty sight. Comes crashing right back down to earth and into the catch fence. And did he have to tow back to the pits? No, he was able to land on his wheels. So
no, he was up at back. Hopefully we're about to go green.
Oh, we are green. Oh, sorry, I missed the start there. Okay, Colin Penn, down and away. Colin
was able to get around Neil Allison, actually, so...
yeah, when we're not looking at a restart, cautions take forever. When we are, they go by just like that. So through turns 1 and 2, Colin Penn leading away on the restart. Neil Allison in tow, Abramitis in third. This is going to be the battle for the lead. Tiernon is back in the race into 7th. Update on him. Right now, he is looking to pass on Christopher Kimry. What a race it would be for Tiernon to fight from the back twice and get back to the race win. Meanwhile, at the front, 3 cars under a blanket. I mean, they're pretty small, so it's not that far off. You can see race leader there, Colin Penn, trying to keep them all behind Allison, trying to use that bottom line to get an advantage. Tiernon, update on him, he's up to 6th.
Tiernon is coming. He once again has
down the inside.
Tires.
Here comes Abramitis.
Abramitis is going to look. Oh, the 15 of Neil Allison is going to get loose, and that's going to put Abramitis into 2nd. And now Corey Cleary is going to look for 3rd underneath Allison. Is he going to get him? Not this corner. Allison holds on to 3rd.
Cleary's got quite a bit of pace. I think that he's been saving his tires for a lot of the race, conserving his stuff. They're coming around to 10 to go this time by. I think that Cleary's in a pretty good spot here. He's just got to play his cards right. And he's going to have a nice run off 4, so he might be able to make a move down to the inside, looking towards turn number 1. Here comes the 4 of Cleary. Side by side for 3rd. Not only is this going to help Cleary get back to the front, but it's also the final money spot. James Tiernon up into 5th. He's going to have 9 laps to pass this top 4, but look at him. He is flying through turns 3 and 4.
I think Tiernon's going to need one more yellow to be able to catch Colin Penn. He could
here goes Cleary. On the outside.
Cleary looking at the outside. A top 5 or a top 3 definitely sounds possible for Tiernon, but if he wants to go for that win, I think he's going to need one more yellow.
Big drive on the outside for Cleary, trying to get that run on Neil Allison. He's going to have it. No, he's not. He gets pinched out wide. Only a few laps remaining. Here comes Abramitis trying to chase after Colin Penn for the race lead.
Tiernon looking for fourth. He's underneath Cleary.
Battle for fourth underway. These two probably the fastest drivers on track, and they're nearly gonna have to split the 15 of Neil Allison. Now the battle for the lead is just about to start. Abramitis is on the bumper of Colin Penn going through turn number 1. Cleary working on third. Here comes Abramitis. Tiernon looking down the inside of Cleary for fourth.
6.5 now. Abramitis is going to stay behind Penn for right now. He's going to get a huge run 3 and 4.
The thing that has made Tiernon so fast and unbeatable in this race is he's just been able to use every line on the track. You know, he's been able to use the inside, he's been able to use the outside. All these other drivers, they've been kind of sticking up high. They haven't really been able to make it work. Update on Tiernon, he is going to get cut off by Neil Allison. This is going to hold him up just a little bit. Contact again! Oh, he saved it!
He saved it!
That could have been bad.
How did he save that?
That could have been really bad. Now, Tiernon with the run on the outside, but Neil Allison is really defending, sliding in a 1 and 2, and for the lead, here comes Abramitis.
4.5 laps to go as they head down the back.
Goodness.
Abramitis looking to the outside of Colin Penn.
He's going to make the move.
He's there.
That outside lane's really working for him, but it's not enough. And Tiernon has damage. He's on the inside of the track and pulling off. Tiernon is out of the race. I don't believe it. Caution is out. And it's brought out a caution. Caution is out. We'll have it.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if there's overtime. If there isn't, Colin Penn has the race won. If there is, it is anybody's game.
No, there is, because the caution laps don't count.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. So, there will be a 3 laps to go restart. There isn't such a thing as overtime, but there is such a thing as the race is never going to end. And James Tiernon is out. He will not win this race. The dominant car of the night pulls off the track. Oh my goodness. So we'll take a look at what happened. Coming through it was through 3 and 4. I think he might have just tagged the wall and gotten too much damage to continue. Oh my. So take a look at this. Coming through 3 and 4. Oh, he didn't even have any damage. He just pulled off the track.
He might have had some wheel damage from when he and I believe Allison in the 15 made contact and may have just realized it was enough. Enough was enough.
I don't know what just happened.
But I'm not sure. That's a very interesting circumstance, and
don't see that a lot, especially not with money on the line.
And it's not like he was that far away. One spot ahead of him was $20. So
and he just pulls off.
I'm very, very surprised by the move there by James Tiernon, especially when he had a fast of a car as he did.
I gotta say, that might have been a hardware failure. Maybe his wheel broke, maybe his shifter broke or something. I mean, that wouldn't even make sense because these cars are only running first gear. They didn't have a clutch. So I don't know what happened, but James Tiernon is out of the race. I don't know. James, if you are listening in chat, go ahead and let me know what happened. Or if you're in our Discord, I don't think you are, but I told Clear to send that to you guys. Incident points. So there is an incident point limit, and Tiernon has hit it, and he is out of the race.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, that is...
For sure.
Yeah, it's not every day we see that. So, an interesting turn of events. Incident points taking Tiernon out of the race. Wow. And according to Tiernon in the chat, a little bit of frustration. So dumb, nobody respecting lines. That's the exact quote. Yeah, I mean, definitely unfortunate. Fastest car on the night, not able to get it done. So he's out of the race. Alright, before we head to this overtime restart, I do think that it's important that we, once again, shout out our sponsors for the race, today's race, has been sponsored by AAMS Racing and Mafia Motorsports. Guys, I hope you're getting a lot of exposure out of this, because there have been a lot of cautions, and we've plugged your stuff many times. Alright. I think that'll be the last time I do this until we sign out for the stream. But in my defense, we've been under caution for like half this race. Okay. So Colin
Hopefully
Penn,
we will go back green this time.
lights
Please,
are...
go back green this time, and we are not.
Well, that's fine, because I actually have something I wanted to
come
ask you.
on.
So, Luke, it's going to be a 3-lap-to-go restart. There's money on the line. There's money on the line for each of the top 3 spots. How do you think this is going to go? What do you think is going to happen?
I said it in the pre-race. I said my underdog pick for the race was the 15 of Neil Allison. And I'm going to have to stick with that. I think Neil Allison is going to get this one done. From 3rd place, I believe. I think he's going to... Something's going to happen between the top 2 leaders. He might have something to deal with that. He might not, but when this thing wraps up, I see Neil Allison in victory lane.
Oh, we're back green. Okay, I guess they were lining... No. Oh, we're not live. We are not live. Okay, a restart underway.
Oh.
Colin Penn leading away on the restart. Behind for 3rd. Corey clearly in a tight battle with Connor Gross and Christopher Kimry. Up front, Colin Penn getting away. I didn't realize we were still in a replay there, and then I heard a spotter come over my ear and say, hey, we're back green, and I'm like, okay. 2 to go this time by. Colin Penn is leading, but right behind him is Tom Abramitis. It's going to be close for the win. That is, of course, assuming that we don't get another caution. We're coming around to 1 to go next time by. Here comes Corey Cleary, trying to make something work from 3rd. Battle for 2nd raging on.
That is the money spot. That's the difference between $0 and 20 right there. Nobody's challenging
Colin Penn at the front of the field.
Colin Penn for the lead. Here comes Cleary.
Yeah, big dive on the inside. Allison gets loose at the top. Meanwhile, Tom Abramitis is going to have one more shot at the lead. Sliding off 2. He's going to give it everything. Towards turn number 3 they go. I think Colin Penn is going to hold him off. Colin Penn is going to bring it off turn number 4 for the final time. They're wrecking behind. Colin Penn takes the night before the 500. Fireworks going off here at Lucas Oil. Colin Penn has won here at Lucas Oil Raceway. $50 goes to him, $30 to Abramitis, and $20 to Connor Gross. But the winner of it all, winner of the glory and the winner of the biggest prize you could get, is the 52 Colin Penn.
I want to give a shout out. Connor Gross was in 5th, I believe, entering the final corner and has made his way up to 3rd when Neil Allison and Corey Cleary wrecked each other.
So
I believe that's what happened, but I'm not entirely sure.
Colin Penn is going to park it on the front straightaway. Unfortunately, with these cars, you can't actually get them refired once you've stopped them, so he's not going to be able to do his burnouts, but he is going to be able to park it on the front straightaway. Congratulations to him. You see the fireworks going off in the background. Colin Penn is the winner of the night before the 500. Congratulations to the driver of the number 52. Next up, we are going to try and bring you post-race interviews. However, none of the drivers from this event are actually in the TMG Discord, which we use to do all of our post-race interviews, so I don't know if it's going to be possible. Why don't we take a look at a replay, though, of that final corner with a really big incident coming to the line. A lot of cars ended up wrecking. It was pretty dramatic at the end. So we'll go back another lap. This is the white flag lap. You see Corey Cleary trying to put his move on the, I believe that's the 15. Now we'll see it here coming off turn number 4. This is where it all kicked off. Corey Cleary in the mix. It's on the inside. And yeah, the 14 of Connor Gross. Oh, never mind. So Cleary's going to get loose on the inside, and Gross slides up into Allison. And they all go wrecking. Allison around. He's the only driver to wreck. And that is how Connor Gross got up into 3rd.
That was the difference between $20 and 0.
Right there, yeah. Cleary almost had it. So in the end, none of us were actually right in our predictions for the race.
No, none of us were.
Which is unfortunate. However, still a huge congratulations to Colin Penn. He drove a great race all night. At the end, when we had a little bit less cautions, it was certainly a very entertaining race. Here's the finish on board with Connor Gross, sliding through 3 and 4 and coming across the line to collect his $20. But no one could stop Colin Penn, as he is the winner of the night before the 500. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We're going to cut away for just a moment, and we will be right back with our closing thoughts and one more shout out to our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. Racing on TMG. We'll be right back. So we're back live here on TMG. We are not going to be able to bring you any post-race interview because the drivers in this race are not in our Discord. However, we will be able to run you through your finishing results. Winning it all is Colin Penn in the number 52. Coming home in second, close but not close enough, is the 9 of Tom Abramitis. Behind him, the number 14 of Connor Gross. Those are your top 3 finishers and the drivers who will walk away from today with a nice little cash prize. Behind Connor is the number 7 of Christopher Kimry, followed by Corey Cleary, Bruce Jones, John Petrie, Neil Allison, Levi Klatt, James Tiernon, Julian Valadez, and Michael Adkins rounds out your finishers. DNFs from tonight. Actually, this isn't quite right, because I think 13 people may have started the race.
It was 12. I believe it was 12.
I think
it might have been
12,
13, but I believe it was 12.
I believe it was 12. Oh, never mind. I did say James Tiernan. Okay, I thought James Tiernan was missing from the results, but he's not. So, man, I mean, Luke, what are your final thoughts on that race? Because that was certainly a wild ride.
You said it. Once things got going and we got green, it was a pretty entertaining race. Unfortunate there for Tiernan because he obviously had the fastest car, but in the end, the guy who ran the cleanest race was Colin Penn, and he was able to wrap up the lead. That's all I've got to say, and I'll pass it on to you. And let's give our sponsors one last shout out.
Oh, trust me, I've got something planned for that. But really, my thoughts on the race. I mean, it's a unique combination. I think it ended up working out. You know, you wouldn't expect the Dirt Midgets to run at an asphalt track and put on a particularly good show. And while the beginning half of the race was a little bit of a mess, I think once these drivers kind of got it figured out, got it cleaned up, a couple of the troublemakers were eliminated from the race. I think that ended up being a really, really good show. So shout out to the drivers for putting on a great race. Shout out to Corey Cleary for organizing this whole event. And one more shout out to our sponsors, AAMS Racing and Mass Mafia Motorsports. Thank you guys so much for not only supporting the broadcasters, but also supporting Corey and putting on this event. This race could not have been done without you. Make sure to check them out. In conclusion, it was a fun race. Thank you, Luke, for joining me in the broadcast booth. Congratulations to Colin Penn. Tomorrow is the Legends Racing League Classic Truck Challenge from the USA International Speedway. Catch that live on TMG at 5:25 p.m. Pacific or 8:25 p.m. Eastern. Next week is going to be the 3rd annual DOB Nationals, broadcasted live here on TMG. We'll be bringing you racing action pretty much all week long from Monday to Thursday night. Then on Friday night, it'll be the Classic Truck Challenge finale. Update on the Legends Racing League Street Stock Series Race 5 of 6 at Concord will be broadcasted on twitch.tv/TMG_racing_network. We will be hosting the Legends Racing League Twitch channel over on there. So make sure to check that out Tuesday night if you're not the biggest fan of dirt racing. But if you are, make sure to catch the DOB Nationals. But until next time, this is Jonathan Oates and Luke Breitschoff signing out. Have a good one, everybody.